3, 2, 1.
Hello, I just wanted to do a little thing for my 70th birthday. It's now May 2020, and Amadeus and I have been working on some little tunes. I thought of doing a little homage to Grossvater Bodenstein, whose violin this is. And I thought after, say, about 110 years of the violin arriving in South Africa, that eventually it ended up in 1960, and I ended up being given it when I went to Hammersburg, when I started to learn the violin. But as you all probably know, there are these photographs of Grossvater playing in an orchestra in Germany. This must have been when he was at his missionary seminar. And it seems to me that it must have been a sort of either classical or an entertainment band. And from the picture, it's quite interesting because I get the impression that he must have played the second violin, because on the right hand side you can see on the left hand side you see a violinist, and he's on the opposite side with his violin, and then next to him is a viola player. So and then of course the cellist, and then the wind instruments behind it. What is quite fascinating to think of it as having been so long ago, because when I got the violin, of the original bits that are still on it, obviously the main instrument is still the same, but even the pegs that are on here are exactly the same that are on the photograph, and the tailpiece. I've in the meantime replaced the bridge and the soundpost and all that. But it is quite an attractive instrument, and it's got a beautiful back. The maple flaming is quite nice, but I think it was a fairly sort of mid-range instrument. It wasn't anything very special, and it's a Guarneri copy rather than a Stradivari, which yours is Amadeus, and which I later used for my own more Stradivari copy. But
and made in Germany.
And made in Germany. It must have been in Germany, yeah. And over the years, when I had it, I once left it on the back of the car at church when we were doing rehearsing for orchestra, usually at Christmas. And it lay on the back seat, and the sun had obviously baked in the sun, and it had completely come apart at the back here. The whole block at the end here had come apart, and the instrument had sort of folded on itself. And ironically, to me that was like very good. I was very happy about it, in a way. I mean, I was shocked, but nevertheless it meant that I needn't practice, that was always the thing. I wanted always to get out of practice. And anyway, I think one of the people from the congregation, I think it was somebody out on the way to Tulago, he fixed it, but used industrial glue. It was quite a lot of glue got smeared all over it and everything like that. It wasn't properly closed. But anyway, I played it for all the time I was at school. And then when I when I lived in Johannesburg when I worked at the SABC, I once went to a violin maker in Johannesburg, Van der Geest, who is a very respected, very long lineage of makers and stuff. And he was a short little guy, an elderly man. And I had this when we lived outside in Randburg, and I wanted to start playing the violin again. And I took it to him to ask him to fix it, because all this here was still not properly fixed. And I'm afraid he taught me one very good lesson that has stood me in good stead throughout my career as a violin maker and a repairer. And that was that when I brought the violin to him, I showed it to him, and he took one look at it and he said, "It's not worth fixing." And I felt quite hurt. I remember I felt quite hurt, and I was sort of thinking, well, I want you to fix it. He said it'd be 50 rand, and the violin isn't worth 50 rand. So anyway, that I always remember that, and the sort of the rebuff that I got. I wanted to have it fixed, but the guy who could do it didn't want to do it because it wasn't worth it. And so now, if I ever have anybody bring me an instrument, even if it's not worth it, I will tell them it's not worth it. But if you have sentimental value to it and you want me to fix it, I will fix it. But anyway, so I've over the years, it was at Vitterfield for a long time, and then I brought it back here a couple of years ago, and really fixed it all. And Amadeus actually replaced this little corner he had broken off, and he did some varnish work over here. This purfling is damaged and so on, and it was sort of replaced. But anyway, so I just thought it's for me quite an amazing. It was just quite a emotional thing to see that Grossvater had this violin and took it with him. And strange enough, I never ever heard anybody say whether he was a good player or not, or whether he ever played. I know that there's always you hear about Ormi teaching all the boys piano, but. I know Uncle Hans mentioned something about them growing up, but they more talk about Ormi teaching them piano. But I never heard anybody say whether he played this and how good he was at it. But anyway, it's nice for me, and I've been quite enjoying playing it. It is quite a nice violin. It has a nice tone. It has a nice full tone, and so I think it's well worth fixing. But anyway, how we're going to play some Irish tunes.
It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth more now than
it was then.
When it was then.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to play a few Irish tunes, and I hope you enjoy them. Okay, right. We're going to play two Irish jigs. The first one is called Handsome Young Maid, and the second one is Bundle and Go.
few times.
Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't counting.
oh, have we done it twice? Okay.
Probably had. Anyway, I messed up
Also,
as well.
I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah.
Stab into the mic.
God damn it.
I don't
know.
Shall we?
Oh, let's do it one more time. Maybe I should speed it up a little bit. What is the matter? I thought today would be easy.
Yeah,